Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Rashard Baylor, Demetra Smith, and I am the 5-star general. Tonight we're going to talk about CRT and the bullshit that come with it. Hey, this might not be the show for you if you're black, because we're going to keep it 100 if we don't do nothing else. So get ready. Let's get ready. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking time out to tune in with my good friend Rashard Baylor, my other friend Demetra Smith, and she'll be back. Sometimes we got technical difficulties, and you know me, I'm the 5-star general. I want to start off with a story that was just sent to me maybe 5 minutes before the show started. There's a city court judge in Lafayette, Louisiana, that got caught on audio saying some wild stuff. So I'm going to share this screen, and I'm going to let y'all hear what this woman said. And then you tell me. This is a sitting judge in Lafayette, Louisiana, and this is what she said.
Oh, shit. Mom goes, why are the lights
when I pull up in the whip, they be saying, God damn.
Why are your lights on? They're like, pull up.
And mom's yelling, nigger! Nigger!
No, we have a nigger. It's a nigger. Like a roach.
Look, that's me.
No, that's
I came from the backside.
He trips twice. He trips twice.
I was the only one
That's me. Kenny was standing. I'm the one that took him down. Kenny's just standing there.
He lied. That was his wallet.
Yeah. That's my phone where it fell out.
Look, Mom. The dude had a phone on him. You should have taken his phone and stolen from him, that fucking asshole.
And now I'm going to have a gun.
Go and get the gun.
It's important. Very important.
As me and Austin maintain control of the situation.
The good thing is we got video. They got fuck. Look, they're with the car. Wait, look. There's
And look, here comes the rebel.
What are we back? Show us like this is.
This is a sitting city judge at home watching video of somebody breaking in their car. And she refers to him as a nigger and a roach. A sitting judge that black people got to go sit in front of. And in all actuality, in Lafayette, Louisiana, it doesn't surprise me with some of those elected officials. But how many niggers have she sent to jail? How many niggers has she sent to prison? It's no way that in this day and time, we can have anybody sitting on a bench that feels this way about black people and doesn't even try to hide how they actually feel and don't care what they say. Rashard, you got something you want to say about that, my friend?
No, I'm like you. I'm not surprised that it's happening in Louisiana. But that kind of mindset, I don't know. I wonder how long she's been sitting in the seat, right? Because that kind of attitude has been carried throughout history, right? A lot of people with that older mindset that grew up I guess, civil rights era, they're still sitting in a lot of those seats and they hold a lot of those positions. But that same mindset has not changed. Although time has changed, that mindset has not changed for them. We see that a lot in politics, period. We see a lot of older people, and excuse my kids in the background, they're being fussed at right now because they're acting up. But we see throughout history, or we see throughout our politics, that there are a lot of older people who hold these seats, and they don't let go of that pre-civil rights.
She's not older. She's actually, she would make a year sitting on the bench this December.
That's even worse.
So she's brand new.
That's even worse. That's even worse. So that's really no excuse for that kind of behavior. There's no excuse. I mean, who vets these people prior? Just their personal backgrounds.
Dimitri, did you hear the clip? She's having real bad technical difficulties, y'all. So the thing is I totally agree with you, man, that it's crazy that we even got to deal with this in 2021. Because it's not working. For us to constantly say that we're in these diverse cities and we should move along, and see, and that brings us to a good subject tonight, which is CRT. You know, this is why you have a lot of African Americans screaming that they want CRT to be taught because of the behavior of some of these people with what they're doing. You know, and I just don't understand it. But I can tell you this. When I finish what I'm doing here, I think I'm gonna take me a trip down to Lafayette, Louisiana, and see if we can't get Lil Mama removed from her judgeship. And guess who gonna do it? Rashad and Dimitri? A nigga.
Goddamn right.
A nigga gonna get her removed from her seat.
We're gonna show
Tonight,
you how to roll.
Tonight we want to talk about CRT. You got two screens popping up, Dimitri. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. You gotta mute your microphone, sweetheart. Tonight we want to talk about CRT. You know, CRT is a big topic, especially in the political world right now. And because of buzzwords like CRT and the things that come with it, a lot of politicians are losing their seats because they're supporting CRT. Now, to me, they're masquerading CRT as a means to teach children about their history. But I see something totally different. I don't believe that's what it's about. I believe that a certain party has not done their job. So once again, they found something that they can try to lean on to make black folk come to the poll. And to say that somebody doesn't want to teach us our history, you know, that doesn't surprise me with what they do. Because at the end of the day, we all learn the basic history. That's all we learned. I mean, anything I learned about history, the finer points of black history, I didn't learn in a schoolhouse anyway. And I didn't care if I learned it in a schoolhouse. It was taught to me at my house, and it was taught to me at different events I went to, and as I moved around. So I want to know your ideologies on CRT.
All right, so I got a few notes on CRT here, actually. So in Texas, the bill was actually pushed in Texas. HB 3979 was pushed by Steve Toth of the Woodlands. And for me, I think CRT has been thrown around. No one really has broken down exactly what it is. But for me, it's been thrown around as a catch-all, right? For anybody or anything that breaks up the normal way history is being taught. And the way history is being taught in America is through the lens of a white man. So anything that challenges that history or that victor, they're calling that CRT. And to me, that shouldn't be called CRT. History in America has been taught wrong. It's been taught by the victor. And the victor, unfortunately, has been the white slave master. History should be taught through all lenses. Should be taught through the lens of everybody that's contributed to the history of America. It's unfortunate that we idolize and we put a lot of these white forefathers on a pedestal. And yes, they are forefathers, they're heroes for white people. But on the flip side, when it comes to black people, the people that you glorify were our slave masters. So for us, we don't get that same praise. Our forefathers who contributed to this great country that we all share, we live in, we don't get that same praise. We don't talk about soldiers like Crispus Attucks, the first man who died for this country at war. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about through history how it wasn't until you start unleashing black soldiers that we changed the tides of a lot of these wars. We don't get that same praise that a lot of these white soldiers and these white heroes get. So therefore, when you get black people or people who want to hear history being taught accurately, it's being grouped as CRT, and I think that's unfair. Me personally, I think CRT, the CRT that people are afraid of, can be weaponized by some people. But if Republicans, us, the GOP members, if we get ahead of it and we start writing our own school curriculums and we start to include everybody, especially the black man and black woman, who this country should credit a lot of its glory to, because if it wasn't for us, this country wouldn't be as great. That's my stance on CRT. I believe we combat it by trying to teach history accurately.
I totally agree with you that history has not been taught accurately. Terry Hayes say those who win wars of time are the ones who get to write history, not those who have lost. There's a lot of inaccuracy when we come to history. There's a lot. And I've never been offended when I figured out that something was inaccurate when it came to history. I was always the kid that got kicked out of history class anyway, because I would ask tough questions. At Yates when I was there, I would ask tough questions. They would teach us about Abe Lincoln. He freed the slaves. So, I asked my history teacher one day, why would this man give up all this free labor, and just wake up one morning and say black people were free? I know he didn't just feel like it was the right thing to do, because he owned slaves. So I just after that, I think I got a month vacation from history class because I would ask the tough questions. So when it comes to CRT, especially with what they're using it for now, I think they want to weaponize it. I think they do want to weaponize it, and they're using it, quote unquote, to their advantage to say that the GOP and Republicans don't want the real history to be told. I think, and I've seen it in classrooms, I've seen it in school districts, that CRT creates divisiveness. It creates racism. And in the country that I live in at the moment, I ain't got time for all that. I ain't got time for it. I'm just being straight up with everybody. I don't have the time to be sitting here dealing with some folk. Okay, you don't like black people. I really don't care. I really don't care. You're not going to stop me from making money. But hold on a second. Let me see if I can get her in here. She's having difficulty tonight. Hold on a second. Okay, so now I think it's being weaponized. I think it's being used as a tool to drive black people to the polls to support a party that don't give a damn about them. If we're going to tell the truth about black people's history, then tell the truth about how a certain party tricked us. Tell the truth about that.
Absolutely.
Tell the truth about we were doing fine before we started dealing with the Democratic Party. Then we got tricked. And then all of a sudden, everybody and mama depended on the government. All of us went from owning land to owning Black Wall Street to being on welfare and barely making it. You see what I'm saying? Well, we want to tell the truth. Are we going to teach that in CRT? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to teach that in CRT? Demetri, what's your So that's what I feel. And I think it has no place in the classroom. If this is something that should be taught in grad school, why are we debating about it in a classroom?
Absolutely.
Why are we bringing this down to the high school and the middle school level? Why are we bringing this down?
Yeah, because they know that's the foundation. They know it's the foundation where a lot of children start. So they figure if you can poison our children right when their roots are starting to plant, then it's going to spread like wildflower. We live in 2021, man. Here I am. All right, I use me as an example because I'm always going to use myself as an example. I do not have a college degree. I went to the military, graduated from Ebony Worthing High School, 1.8 GPA. Should have been rolled off. I say to tell the story over and over and over because it's testimony, but I should have been rolled off as, dead to the world, but I didn't. That was a way that I was able to make something of myself, and it was by joining the military. I learned accountability and responsibility. I started to take ownership for my actions. I started to realize there's nobody's fault but my own fault that I'm not getting ahead in life. Once I get off my ass and I start taking ownership of my mistakes, then I can grow. A lot of CRT pushes off and it says, accountability is on somebody else. It's a white man or it's somebody else's fault you can't get ahead. And today in 2021, that's not the truth, my brother. And you and I both know that we'll live testaments of that. In 2021, you can be whatever you want to, as long as you put in the work for it. And I refuse to allow my children, as you can hear them in the background, they're 3 and 5 year olds, and I got my first son on the way. I refuse to allow a teacher to teach my kids that they're victims and they can't get ahead, when that's the absolute that's the false. My kids can be whatever the hell they want to in life. Anybody's children can be whatever the hell they want to in life. And I'd be damned if we allow some political agenda to be pushed on our children and poison them and set our people back another 100, 200 years. If we don't get ahead of this shit now, man, I fear what's going to happen. I
want to read Terry Hayes' comment, and then I'll go to Demetri. Terry says, to tell the truth about the history of people of color in this country is to tell the truth to their own white children of how white America raped, pillaged, and plundered the land for their own. I get that. If you got the time to teach it, maybe they got the time to learn it. But I think the biggest issue we got right now, our kids can't read. Our goddamn kids can't read, man. So whether it's CRT or ABC or MUZ, they can't read. So we're going to skip over teaching them how to read to teach them about some racism. That's not what I'm about. Demetri, what you think?
You muted. You muted.
Hello, everyone. Sorry about the difficulty, y'all. Sorry about that. But let's pay attention to the wording. And the wording is called critical race theory. Like, are we paying attention to theory? Like, is racism a theory or is it a fact? So we just got to pay attention to the narrative when we're talking about critical race theory. And I think it's quite a joke for them to even name such curriculum as critical race theory when we know it's a known fact that racism actually do exist and did exist for Black America and what we've all been through as far as our lineage goes. So with that being said, we got to start looking at the motive. A.G. Garland, Merrick Garland, our Department of Justice head, Merrick Garland's son-in-law, Zan Tanner, actually have a contract with the United States with the school districts in about 2,300. In about 23,000 school districts, it's 1,500. He have 1,500 contracts vested in the school district. So, and I hate to sound like this, but let's kind of be real about this here. So we got a white man who's putting together a curriculum and called it critical race theory. So if anybody's trying to hide from something, it's the one who's creating that curriculum, which is called critical race theory, when it's a known fact. So what is his vested interest? That's the question we all have to ask ourselves. His vested interest is actually to make money with the school districts. So he don't care about one way or the other about what history is. What he care about is getting Black America upset and all aroused to support the curriculum called critical race theory, because he know that he's tapping back into the emotion of Black America, because that's going to piss us off. And we're going to say the things like I'm seeing on this thread of, you know, the white man don't want us to know about our history. Well, if he really did want us to know, then why he calling it a theory? So we have to just kind of take a look at that. So why is our AG, Department of Justice, son-in-law have a company called it's called Panorama Education? He's the one that's creating these curriculums, selling it to the school district for his vested interest, knowing he's gonna get Black America support because we're sounding just like we're sounding now. So let's look at that first. And then I can get back into what I really actually feel about that. But the vested interest right now is AG Merrick Garland right now. So on top of that, I'm gonna give it back to you. On top of that, now he want to deem the parents. You know, he want to deem the parents to be domestic terrorism now, because parents are going up to the school boards talking about this issue, talking against critical race theory when it really is a fact, but they're talking against it. So it's actually, you know, hitting his bottom line that the parents are out there talking against this because they don't feel that their children need to be alienated, and some feel their children need to be knowing their history when it's really not about history. It's not about anything but money. So when you got a lot of Caucasian parents out there that's really advocating against this here, he want to deem them to be domestic terrorism, and he want to have them arrested because as long as they keep talking against this, they can't sell the contract to the school districts. So what are we talking about here?
There it is right there. There it is right there. Here's my thing. Terry Hayes is very active tonight. He say, does Black America care about CRT like white America? I'm going to be honest and tell you, hell no. You know why? Because I be at the school board meetings. Ain't no goddamn Black American being there complaining about no CRT. How the hell you going to complain about CRT and you ain't complaining about your child not being able to add? How you going to complain about CRT when your goddamn child can't even read? Like I told white America, I was at a conference or something. Why y'all tripping on CRT, man? We can't read. These kids can't even read. But all of a sudden, because of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and stuff like that, now let's just be honest. I would tell them to just be honest. It ain't about CRT. It's about you wanting to bring social issues into the classroom. It's about these folks wanting to bring what's happening on 38 in Chicago into the classroom, where we got to teach the teaks. We have to teach them a certain thing every day. They have to learn a certain amount every single day. So you want to take away from the actual curriculum to keep talking about what's going on in the streets. So if you want to teach something, let's go back and let's talk about the evolution of Black on Black crime. Why don't we talk about that? See, when we switch the game, when Black folks switch the game and start talking about the things that we involved in, you see what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden we don't need to talk about that. But if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about everything. Let's talk about the African kings that sold us to the people on the boats that were coming to get us to make us slaves. Let's talk about that. If you want to tell the truth, then tell all the truth. Don't tell half of it, or don't just tell the Black truth. Tell everything. But I just think that they want to bring all of these social issues into our school setting. And I'm an education advocate. I ain't got time for it, dog. I need to get these kids up to speed to where they reading on grade level. You see what I'm saying? Where they reading on grade level, they're identifying our children for prison beds in the 3rd grade. And that's because they cannot read. Rashad?
Man, I agree. One thing that we have to fix is not allowing these social issues to take over our classrooms. That's the biggest thing. Because then our children are learning what emotions. We're learning the emotions of what other people feel. That's not education. And then what do we do when the test scores drive down? Then we blaming who? The teachers, that it's their fault. But yet the curriculum, you're telling them that they have to be up to date on current social issues. A lot of these third graders don't give a damn about what's going on in the world. They care about Pokemon and Barbie dolls and all these other things. Why are we, pushing this fear on them that, okay, you're black, if you step out here, the police is going to kill you? Why are we not inspiring our children to say, hey, if you're black, you can be whatever the hell you want to be. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be an astronaut. You can be a fucking garbage man. You can be a mechanic. You can be whatever you want to be. But you don't have to be in fear. You don't have to live in fear. We're teaching our children that our neighbors, white people that are walking down the street, white children, that they should be in fear of them. Why? Or they're inferior to them. None of our children are inferior or superior to anyone else. They're on par with everyone because we are all equal and children of God. So to teach our children that they're anything less or anything more is, I think it's BS. And we've got to do what we're doing right now, continue to talk about it and putting it in the rooms with all of our black people, because we got these gatekeepers who are leading us the wrong way. They're taking the sheep and they're leading them off the edge, and they're telling people that you and I are wolves, when really we're the sheep dogs and we're starting to bite the damn shepherds. We're tired.
Demetri?
You muted.
Okay, for Alan Garrett, I love the comment that he have up here, because I was at a rally over a month ago and I was talking about this very same thing. He's talking about leave CRT for adults and not children. The question is, those curriculum, whoever's developed the curriculum, all the adults in all three branches of government, they know racism is alive and well. They know racism does exist. So I'm with Mr. Allen over here. Since you know this is alive and well, you want to put it in the school, elementary school, middle school, you want to put it in senior high school. Well, they can't fix these issues that's historic. These are children. These are millennials. How can they fix something? You, the adults, and you putting a burden on the school. You're putting a burden on the children and the millennial as if they can resolve the racism issue. If you really wanted racism fixed, send it back to the three branches of government. That's where all began anyway. Send it back to the three branches of government. Put it in the police department. If you want to talk about CRT, put it in police department, CPS, put it in the the child support. All agencies, let the adults, let the appointed official, elected official actually deal with the critical race facts. Let them deal with the racism and put those policies there. Why put it, on our children? So I agree 100% with Mr. Alan Guillory here. Thank you for that comment.
Well, I want to dive into it. We want to blame everybody for issues that pertain to us. So do me a favor, Demetri, mute your mic. I'm going to dive into this. Now, what I want you to do, wherever you're sitting, I want you to take your hands and I want you to put it on the edge of your chair, because you're finna be laughing like a motherfucker. Because I'm going to tell the truth. I want to blame the white man for something. And I want to blame him here tonight. I'm going on Front Street. My white brothers, I got to blame you for this. When we, the black man, smoke too much weed, knowing we got to go take the piss test for the job, that's the white man's fault. When we, the black people, get $4,000 worth of food stamps because they sent them out during the pandemic and we get caught selling them, that's the white man's fault. You holding on to your seat? You holding on to your seat? When we know we got 2 felonies and go into beauty supply and get caught stealing some eyelashes to get felony number 3, that's the white man's fault. No, that's our fault. We create problems for ourselves every single day. Every single day. We create problems. And we got people like the county commissioner, Rodney Ellis, who will get out here and get in public and talk down on, we need CRT here and there. Man, ain't nobody need to be listening to you. I don't want to know nothing about no CRT coming from one of you politicians. I want to know about that stolen art over there on Reed Road. You see what I'm saying? I want to know how many of them early ballots you done put in on the last election. You gonna blame that on the white man? See, you just said it earlier. I could be anything I want to be. And me, I chose to be a screw up when I was younger. So it took me a minute to get it right. But that wasn't white people doing that to me. That was me. That was me. You see what I'm saying? So I just think it has no place in our classrooms. I don't give a damn what nobody tell me. I don't think you should take time out of history class to learn about George Floyd when they got to teach you the teaks. The curriculum is already written. If you want a different curriculum, right now is a critical time because there's about to be elections in 2022. If you want the curriculum changed, put Larry McKenzie on the State Board of Education. Send Gary Monroe to the State House. Send Rashard Baylor to the State House. Demetrius running for governor. If you want the curriculum changed, put some new people in office. And that's all it boils down to. But I'm not going to put CRT in the classroom. I don't give a damn if I win the race or not. I'm not going to advocate for that. That's not going to happen, Rashard.
No, I'm with you with that. I'll never advocate for CRT being in our classrooms, but I will push for history being taught equally, especially Texas history, because a lot of Black people contributed so much to Texas history, and a lot of it is left out because a lot of these Black people were conservatives. And as we know that the liberals control our school system and they write a lot of our curriculums, they'll never push that history out there and let you know that Black people were conservatives. It doesn't go in line with their welfare state of mind. You know, once we break up the nuclear family structure and we let people know, hey, you don't need a man to support you and do anything in the house. You're an independent woman. You can do whatever you want to. That's all it is. So I will advocate for pushing history and being taught inclusion, Black and Latino, because the Tejanos contributed a lot to Texas also, and we count them out. And I want to focus on Terry Hayes, man, because he's saying a lot of stuff, right? I see the comment that he said earlier, and I think you touched on it, but he was talking about white people write the curriculum, and since they have power, they write it the way that they want it. Again, 5-Star just told you, Gary Monroe just told you, put people who you know are going to do right for you in the community and put us in office and allow us to lead our people the right way. Don't look at the R in front of our name or the D or whatever like that. Look at us as people. You see us here right now. We're martyrs for our community by stepping on the conservative platform and running as Republicans. But telling you, hey, we are here for our people and we're going to support what's right, whether you agree with it or not. We're going to do the right thing for our community and we're going to keep doing it and we're going to keep pushing it towards you. Whether we win or not, we're going to be here because we are here because we give a damn.
Demetrio?
You muted again.
Demetrio, turn your mic on.
I'm here. Sorry. So what you want me to comment about? Because I said what I had to say about CRT. But I want people to know I'm not going to be on your primary ballot. I will be as a write-in in a general election. So let them duke it out in the primaries. You'll see me as a write-in candidate, you know, in a general election. So let them do what they have to do. But I said what I said about CRT, and you know, even as a gubernatorial candidate, you know, it's about giving power back to the people, actually their sovereignty in the republic form of government, which means the people will decide. So I can always have my position on anything I have my position on, but I'm not the decision maker. It would be the parents. They would be when they go back to education, the parents would be the decision maker, not the school boards, trustees, or anybody else, not the staff, not anybody but the parents. So I believe their ideology needs to be heard as they give up and give their testimonies, what they want for their children. And Black parents, I'm like you, Gary, I do not see them. I watch the school board meetings. I do not see a lot of Black parents out there advocating for their children's education. So if we want to point the blame at somebody when it comes to that, and you really want your kids to be taught something, a different kind of curriculum, go and give up your ideas at the school board meeting, participate at the school board meeting. Because we do see a lot of white parents are more so involved than Black. In fact, we see a lot of white people fighting more for civil liberties today than we see Black people fighting for civil liberties today. So if we want anything done in America, because we do have a lot of complaints and with a lot of comments, but the question is, are we participating any kind of way besides staying on social media and making all these comments? Are you participating in school board meeting? Are you participating in election? Are you participating at the state house to make your voice heard, some things that you want to change? So we definitely need to hold ourselves accountable just as well as we're trying to hold all the elected officials accountable. So for me, I would want you to hold me accountable because I'll be beholden to you, but I would definitely like to hear your ideas, and you'll be the decision maker when it comes to that. I'm not just saying this for campaign purposes. I'm saying this because we need some people to actually, African American need to get up there to school boards, and y'all need to go make your voice heard, and things that you want to see change. Go out there and testify to those school board meetings. Go ahead, Rashad. I'm sorry.
Terry Hayes again. He says, I'm a big advocate for Black America starting its own party. How much do you know about how the Texas GOP was started here? Tell you a little bit. When the Texas GOP first started, they were after slavery, you know, when the Democrats just made Juneteenth a national holiday. After slavery, after the Emancipation Proclamation here in Texas, we finally reached here in 1865. A lot of those Black men started the Texas GOP, 150 of them, actually. One of the strongest Black men in Texas was Norris Wright Cuny, the same person who the Cuny homes is named after. So to say that Black America needs to start its own party, we did, we abandoned it. And until we return to our roots, we're going to forever be in this situation because we allow a white man, or not say white man, I'll say white liberal, because it's not the white man, it's the white liberal. We allow his guilt to put us further in the predicament we're in right now. And until we return back to, now I'm not saying support all conservative values, right? But at least the major ones: freedom, religion, and a nuclear family household. Like, that's it. Man, woman, and child households, freedom of religion, and stay the hell out of my business. That is it. That's the only thing we want. That's the true American dream. And we're giving that shit away. The Democrats selling us all these these boogeyman stories saying, oh, the conservatives are trying to, take away your rights. And they're pushing this fear on us. But yet the conservatives, the liberals are the one telling you to push all these mask mandates and all of these vaccine mandates. That's taking away your liberties. That's taking away your rights of choice. They're telling you can't speak against taking the vaccine. That's your freedom of speech. You have the right to say what goes in your body. You have the right to say, I will not put this in my body. You have the right to say that on social media. But they're stopping people from saying that. That's a problem. And that's the America we're living in today. And it's taking people like us to fight for the freedom. I'm not telling you to, go for the vaccine or to not get the vaccine. What I'm saying is you should have the choice to do whatever the hell you choose. Nobody should tell you what to do with your body. And that's with everything that's going on in America today. That's all I want to say.
Tell them what position you're running for and what party you with.
So I'm running for state representative, House District 147. My name is Rashard Davis Baylor from 3rd Ward, South Park, Sunnyside. I say all of them because I lived in all of them equally. Still live there today in my life. Still live there today. My grandmother been living in the same house for the last 40-some years. We own that property. Got family still living in Nellerton Park. We own that property. I am running as a Republican, as a conservative. I won't say as a Republican, I'm running as a conservative. I'm running as a conservative. The Republican Party happens to support my values.
And today you got a primary opponent. So you're gonna get out of the primary. You're gonna fight to get out the primary so that you can make it over to the general. And on the other side, it's 2 of you guys in 147 on the Republican side. And on the Democratic side, man, it's 7 of them. 7 of them. And I mean, everybody from the politician to the turkey leg hood got some skin in the game with them 7. Wow. We selling turkey legs and now we trying to sell them at the State House. I get it. Well, I'm Gary Monroe, man. I'm running for State Rep 131 as a Republican, as a conservative, and I don't have a primary opponent. So let me tell you something, old lady. You better go take some Geritol or something, because I'm finna work you for the next 11 months. You're going to work harder than you ever worked in your life, but you got to get out the primary too. And I think the incumbent will have a problem. I'm not going to speak on my platform tonight, but there are some things that have not been addressed for a long time in District 131. So my thing is just get over the fact I don't have any allegiance to the Democratic Party. They've done nothing for me. Don't want nothing to do with them no more. I don't have no loyalty to these people. They ain't helped me in my last run, so I don't care. I'm over here where I'm supposed to be. And I'm still Gary Monroe that grew up in 3rd Ward, Texas, that's still going to get down for the hood when it come down to it. And that's all it boils down to. So, Dimitri, you tell them what you running for, sweet.
Have to remember that. So yes, I'm still running for Texas governor, but again, I will be running as a write-in candidate. But in the general election, I would not be on the primary ballot at all. And I am still running as a Republican. Regardless, I will be voting in the Republican primaries at the same time. But I just want people to understand Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution talks about the republic form of government. So that republic form of government have everything to do with what you say, what you want. That's all. It's just your power, your voice. So with that, we have to get back to that. We cannot continue to act as we are slaves and try to comply with everything the liberals, I'm like Rashad, the white liberals, as well as the black supremacists on the Democrat side that serves the white supremacists, the white liberals on the Democrat side. Like they are the main reason why we are oppressed. Their policies, their laws are the main reason why we are oppressed. But you better believe you are so sovereign. But I don't know if you realize how sovereign you are and how much power you really have. If we can go back to that Declaration of Independence where it says that the government derives its power from the consent of the governed, that is you. That is your republic form of government. Like they can't do nothing without your John Doe. Like that's the money. When you sign, they sell your assets. That means whatever you sign, they sell it, they cash it in without you. That is their meal ticket, but that is your oppression. So you have a right to decide how you want your government to be ran. And we all 3 Republicans that's running right now. So we want you all to get back to your republic form of government. It's what you say. It's not what the Democrats say. I'm like Rashad, if they tell you to mask up, and if you decide you want to do that, be sovereign, have a sovereign mind. That is your choice. But don't do it because they say do it. Because like Gary said a while ago, when that mask, they making money. Everything is about money. So you better believe everything they tell you what to do and you sign off on it, they're cashing in and you oppressed. You oppressor. You got to remember that it's sovereignty in you, and we got to get back to that. And the only way we can get back to that is understanding history, understand who you are, understand where we are and where we're trying to go. So it's no longer we complain, but you have not even tested the waters to find out what sovereignty of being a sovereign person really feel like. And that's just the Bill of Rights being applicable to you. You applying the Bill of Rights of the Constitution to you. That's your sovereignty. Test that first. Stop complying, stop obeying all the time, and just make your own decision. It's great you make your decision in your own household, but politically, do you really make your own decision? Absolutely not. You may think you are, but it's the Democrats who's controlling our mindsets because they controlled ours. We're no longer controlled anymore.
Let me ask y'all a question. Mute your mic, Demetri. Let me ask y'all a question, because I'm just sitting here thinking. We were talking about Black Wall Street, and every day you may hear somebody say, we need to rebuild Black Wall Street. But have you really thought that we will never rebuild Black Wall Street until we become the conservatives that we were when we owned Black Wall Street? Those were Black Republicans that owned Black Wall Street. So maybe we will never get back there. What you think, Rashad? I'm just brainstorming right now.
Man, I think you're absolutely right. I think you hit the nail on the head, because we're voting a lot of our own needs and our own rights away, like our own special interests. So, a lot of those people that built Black Wall Street, a lot of those people were tradesmen. And when I say tradesmen, I say that they had carpentry skills. They were mechanics. They were painters. They were plumbers. They were electricians. So they were able to have all that network within their community, and they were able to lean on each other to build that up. You didn't have to resource so much out, and you didn't have to go to the companies that have monopolies on these systems, because we had our own tradesmen. The thing is, we don't even teach trade programs in schools anymore today. But yet we should talk about critical race theory. How about we go about some things that really can change the plight of Black people, that can really build back this Black Wall Street that we want, the Black Wall Street that we so desire and we need. Again, people are not informed voters. Until you stop being lazy and relying on social media and TikTok and the news, who does nothing but weaponize and use propaganda to push fear, until you stop leaning on these people who are holding you down to educate you, until you stop being lazy and pick up a book and really read about these people and really read about history, right? I tell you this, I'll challenge somebody to read an easy book, man. And I read this after I watched that movie, The Harder They Fall. There's a book about Nat Love, the life and adventures of Nat Love. And it talked about how this young boy left slavery, whose dad passed away, who had to take on his sister's kids, his siblings, and his mother. He's making 15 cents a month. And this man went on to live a prosperous life after slavery. But yet they'll tell you today in 2021, you can't get ahead. How the hell does that make sense? The only way you can't get ahead if somebody's holding you back. So I would challenge all of you guys to pick up a book and find out who it is that's really holding you back. Who are writing these laws and these policies? The KKK was founded by Democratic people. The Civil Rights Bill was filibustered by Democrats. So who is really blocking your freedom? I really, really would like you guys to pick up a book, and don't miss me with all that the party switch stuff. That stuff didn't happen.
Jackson Lee gonna come for you, man.
Sheila Jackson Lee not even, look, man. Sheila Jackson Lee not even a Texan, man. She from New York. Miss me with that. She not even from my hood. And if you want to be real honest, is Sheila Jackson Lee a Black American descendant of slavery, or did her parents come here from the Caribbean, or is she a descendant of immigrants? Because I've only seen her for immigrants. Let's talk about that. If we really want to go somewhere, now I ain't running for that race yet, right? Give me a couple years. Put me in the state first, and then I'll go tackle the big fish. But right now, I got to fix the community. And once I fix the community, I'll fix the state.
Hey, I think she's a descendant of crooks. Her and Ellis come from the same tribe. So, Demetri, what you think? I think, and that's just something I was just thinking about because we were talking about Black Wall Street, that it's hard to duplicate what happened with Black Wall Street because we don't really want to go back to our roots because they poison us on being conservatives and Republican. Turn your mic on.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. Terry Hayes is making a lot of comments, and I want to tie in what you're saying to what he's saying. He said, basically he's have to like the Republican and Democrat Party cannot move forward cannot win without the black votes. If he understood, Mr. Hayes, I want you to understand. I think that's been propaganda the whole time, because there's 350 million people in the United States of America. We're not talking about worldwide. We're talking about in the United States, and 45 million of us, Black America, make up of the 350 million, maybe 330 million now. So we outvoted anytime, every time, anywhere, any place. We outvoted no matter what. Okay, just that number alone. Now the Hispanic, they outdo us already in their numbers. There's more Hispanics in the United States than it is Black America, and it's way many more white folks, like 250 million. White Caucasian than it is. So we can get outdone no matter what. However, I believe, that's just my belief now, I believe that Black America, the Democrat always need to advocate for the Black votes, not because they need to win, it's because they need to have somebody on their plantation. And they know they're not going to have the white men on their plantation. Like, I mean, you got a whole field, but you don't have workers. You don't have nobody's going to obey and nobody's who's going to comply. So don't think they advocate for your vote to keep a job, because white men can keep them in their job. Okay, but it's the Black folks that they need on their plantation, Hispanics who they need on their plantation, because they're going to continue to offer benefits after benefits after benefits after benefits to contract with them, and you got to obey what we say. If you want to eat, you want to keep these food stamps, obey all these food stamp laws. I'm going to just call them that. You want to keep getting child support, obey this. You want to keep getting any benefit, you want to keep getting welfare, you want to keep housing. This is them contracting with Black America. This is them contracting with the brown American. So they need somebody on their plantation, baby. So we're always outdone. Don't you ever forget that, because the numbers do not lie. That's all I have to say to that.
It's amazing that you say that, because then I'm going to give you an example of what you're saying to me, and I make it correlate a different way. Black people will not sit down and listen to a conservative like Dr. Stephen Hotze, but they will sit down and listen to a crook like Carole Robinson. Carole Robinson disenfranchises your community every single day. He stays involved in corruption. But you will sit there and listen to this dude like he's one of God's disciples, but you won't sit and listen to Dr. Stephen Hotze, who can teach you, how to eat right, how to get your mind right with the higher power, with God. You won't sit there and listen to a Christian, but you'll sit there and listen to a devil. Rashad?
I want to touch on one thing. So I agree that we are outvoted, but I'm gonna tell you why the Democrats need Black people, because we cannot be out influenced. The thing is, Black people echo around this world. The thing that we do, like, we echo around this world. You look at TikTok, one dance that goes viral, and you got 50 billion people doing it. Imagine if you have an actor, an influencer, a basketball player, or somebody who's reaching a lot of these young people. A lot of these people, white, Black, Latino, Chinese, whomever, Pakistan, Indian, they have the ability to reach all these people. So that's why they need the Black people, because we're the entertainers, right? So you use the entertainers to go out there and be your spokespersons. And we're putting all these, and it bothers me, because why in the hell are we even looking up to entertainers as our heroes in the Black community? Like you just said, we're not talking about Black conservatives. What about Thomas Sowell? What about Larry Elder? What about these Black economists that are out here that's really doing things for Black people? Why are we not talking about them? Why are we not talking about Milton Friedman, who wrote an essay talking about why the government is the problem? The government is the problem because it interjects things and things that has no business taking care of. We're looking to the government as this daddy and this savior, and we should not. The government should only be there to protect the rights and the liberties of the people. That is it. It shouldn't be fixing these social issues. We can fix our social issues if we stop these gatekeepers from stirring them up. They tell you about racism in America today, But I can tell you, I don't even work with a lot of black people, and I don't experience any racism. I'm not saying, of course, there are individual people who are racist, but a system is not racist, not in America today. You can be what the hell you want to be. And we need to stop listening to these people, these millionaires, Oprah Winfrey, LeBron James. These are billionaires telling you can't get ahead. How can a billionaire tell me I can't do something? That makes zero sense. So when you start to really get out of the matrix and start to say, hold on, Oprah Winfrey, you came from kind of the same background I came from. Steve Harvey, you came from the same kind of background I came from. Al Sharpton, all y'all came from the same kind of background I came from. But yet y'all telling me I can't get ahead. But here you Negroes are on TV, pulling off in your Rolls Royces and flashing your nice watches and going to your land where your slaves are that are probably Hispanic and black working in your house as maids and servants. You're telling me we can't get ahead? It's because you're a gatekeeper also. You're those black slave masters that they talk about in history when they say black people own slaves too. You are the black people that own slaves. The Boule, we know who you guys are. We really know who the people that are really keeping us back. And we're here to expose that. We're tired of it. That's what I got to say. Dr. Claude Anderson is the truth.
Say, man, they won't listen to Dr. Claude Anderson, but they'll listen to Cardi B. Ms. Demetra, give them your final thoughts. Turn your mic on. There you go.
I'm sorry. Terry Hayes said he don't know what plantation I'm talking about. It's the mindset that he have. Okay, the plantation is your mindset. He actually talking about 46 million Black Americans voted for Joe Biden. He was not in the election count room. He don't know how many people voted for whom and where. Where was he? He was not there. So the mindset that he have, that he goes by the reported, what the news reported, who's owned by Great Britain no matter what, to make sure they have people like him to believe in the propaganda and believe in the pandering. There's no attack. But so there's no pun intended either. But I got to call out what I got to call out, because this is what I'm tired of seeing with our own people. Stop believing the lies. Research your stuff. Like, I can't tell you how many people voted for Joe Biden. I can't tell you he was selected in, but that tells me he don't believe in election fraud. It tells me he don't believe in the cheating, or he was way left behind when they was talking about this here. So with that being said, I need Black America, all American, educate yourself on something before you speak about something you know nothing about. Educate yourself. Do not talk like we're ignorant people. Ignorant means we're unaware about that specific subject matter. When you want to talk about a subject matter, have your facts and not your opinion. Or if you opinion, make sure you say it's your opinion. This is just my thought on it. But don't lay something down what media done told you and you wasn't there. I wasn't there either. So at the end of the day, but we do know, and Gary knows, election fraud is real. So we're not going to say that man got 46 or 86 million votes and half of that was Black America. No, we might have lined up, but you don't know where our votes were casted. So at the end of the day, let's speak with intelligence. At the end of the day, the plantation is your mindset. Okay, that's the mindset. You obeying, you complying, you believe in what the media is putting out there without doing any research, because you're emotional and you just want to chime in on something you know nothing about. Go ahead, Gary, y'all. Sorry about that.
Final thoughts, Rashard.
One moment, I'm trying to get the kids out. 1 second.
Mute your mic, Demetra.
All right. My final thoughts are, man, I feel like we need to start at home first. We start educating ourselves. I think that an informed voter, is the right voter. So if we start to educate ourselves at home, start picking up books again and start reading and get this information on our own and stop relying on these people to feed us the information or feed us the food that we need. Because if we allow somebody to feed you, they're only going to feed you what they want to feed you. They ain't going to feed you what you need. And the thing is, we sick. We need medicine. And the medicine is in these books. And I would challenge everybody that's watching this podcast today to pick up some books and start reading, and just start, looking up some of the stuff that we're talking about. Prove us wrong. If we're lying about something, please call us out on it. Call me out on it. I'm willing to not necessarily debate because I don't want to debate. I want to engage in conversation. If I'm wrong, I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody, and that can prove me wrong and show me how to fix myself. So again, that's where I stand. Let's pick up some books, start reading, inform yourself, and just be educated. I see Alan Guillory saying, I'll take the bootleg, I'm gonna need some guns and CHL. I got all that and some, but y'all know something happened to me. Y'all know who did it. So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna end it with this here. And I'm gonna say, I've been attacking the bootleg. Man, them ain't nothing but some white collar criminals, man. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke. Same way I might not make it home might be the same way they might not make it home. Like my daddy used to say, don't start no shit, won't be no shit. How I feel about it. But I will end this on this. One, I want to congratulate my good friend Kendall Baker and Bridget Wade on their win the other night. Kendall Baker, one of the in a handful, Black Republican man to sit on the Houston Independent School Board. My good friend Bridget Wade, she won, dog walked them. And I'm gonna tell you something. What was so nice about their win was I called Hollyville a second and sung the Flintstone Sisters, and they sent them both back to Bedrock. They need to go, and they gone. So congratulations to Bridget Wade and Kendall Baker. Get up there and do what you're going to do. And y'all that's mad out there that they won, ain't a damn thing you could do about it for 4 years. So just know this here. Oh, they Republicans and they're conservatives. They're finna mess up my school system. Your school system been messed up for 20 years. And the Democrats the one that messed it up. So maybe the Republicans might be the one that get it right. But I will leave you on this one. My man said it was 46 million black folk that voted for Joe Biden. Can I say it like I need to say it? It was 46 million damn fools that voted for the dude that I now consider the worst president in the history of the United States. Say it's a reason I'm a best in the business, man. Every night, 7 o'clock, Facebook and YouTube. The War Zone, man. I want to thank my good friend Rashard Baylor, running in House District 147, Demetra Schmidt. She gonna write in for governor, and I am the 5-star general, unopposed. House District 131. No matter if it's Alma Allen or whoever, you better get ready, because I'm gonna outwork your ass. I can promise you. And I got them voter integrity laws on my side this time. I see you at the State House in November next year. It's on and popping, man, till tomorrow.